Hi guys, welcome to our reflexive verbs in the preterite tense notes. So recall from last time that a reflexive verb is a verb that reflects back onto one's self. So reflexive verbs are actions that we do to ourselves. The infinitive form of a reflexive verb will always end in se. We also went over 4 steps to conjugating a reflexive verb in the present tense form. The first thing is we take our se and we move it out to the front, and then we change our se to match the person. Our reflexive pronouns include me, te, se, nos, os, and se. This is in contrast with our indirect object pronouns. We use indirect object pronouns to go with gustar, and those are pronouns like me, te, le, nos, os, les. The key difference here is in our eos forms. Reflexive verbs, again, we're talking about our self, so because that's your self, those are the se pronouns. After we work on our pronouns, we conjugate our verb with its normal ending, and then finally, of course, we need to check stem changers and sometimes irregulars. So go ahead and remember those steps. Let's do bañarse as an example, and then we'll do vestirse. Bañarse, you'll remember, means to bathe. And our first step is going to be to look at our se, move it out to the front, and then we'll use our reflexive pronouns. Those are me, te, se, nos, os, and se. And then we look at our AR ending. We have a regular AR ending right here. So that'll give us me baño, te bañas, se baña, nos bañamos, os bañáis, y ellos se bañan. Again, we've got our regular AR endings, o, as, a, amos, ais, an. Go ahead and follow that pattern, pause the video, and conjugate vestirse. Vestirse is to get dressed, and hopefully you got me visto, te viste, se viste, nos vestimos, os vestís, se visten, remembering that vestir is an E to I stem changer, so we follow our stem changing boot. So that's a quick review of how to conjugate reflexive verbs in the present tense. Now we're going to look at the preterite tense. Before we conjugate reflexive verbs in the preterite tense, though, we are going to remind ourselves what we're talking about, and we'll review our regular endings. So the preterite tense is just a fancy way to say we're talking about the past tense. In the past tense, those are like your ED endings in English, like I walked, you listened, we watched, that kind of thing. Go ahead and hit pause, fill in your AR, ER, IR endings, and we'll see how well you did. So our regular AR endings are aste, o, amos, astes, aron. Our regular ER endings are the same as our regular IR endings, which are iste, yo, the accent is on the O, please, imos, istes, yeron. Now that we have those in place, go ahead and pause the video and conjugate your regular AR verbs lavar and conocer. Alright, now that you have conjugated lavar and conocer, go ahead and check that you have lavé, lavaste, lavó, lavamos, lavastes, lavaron, and conocer to meet becomes conocí, conociste, conoció, conocimos, conocisteis, y conocieron. Now that we've gone over our regular verbs, we're going to talk about stem changers. So stem changers in the present tense are wearing boots, but stem changes in the preterite tense only are on IR verbs, like we have dormir and vestir, so we're in good shape. And when we change the stem in the preterite tense, that's only going to happen on the el form and the ellos forms. Go ahead and follow each of the rules, remembering that dormir is an O to U in the preterite, vestir is E to I. Go ahead and conjugate them and see how you do. So you should have gotten dormí, dormiste, durmió, dormimos, dormistes, and durmieron. Again, the only changes in the L and ellos form. Vestir becomes vestí, vestiste, vistió, vestimos, vestisteis, and vistieron. Spelling changes happen in the yo form. And these are going to be on our kar, gar, zar verbs. That means when we look at these AR verbs, we're going to conjugate them like normal AR verbs, but we're going to change the first ending. So that will give us sake with, or sorry, not sake, seke. Here our CAR is changing to a QUE, so that way we keep that ke sound the same. But then we have secaste, secó, secamos, secastes, secaron. Remembering, of course, that secar means to dry. Similarly, on our next conjugation chart, we have jugar. Jugar means to play. Now, jugar is a GAR verb, so that's going to give us a special ending in the O form. We want to say jugué, but we need to put that U so we can keep that sound the same. That'll follow with jugaste, jugó, jugamos, jugasteis, y jugaron. Now those are all the things that we need to remember when we're conjugating in the preterite. We've got our special endings on our kar, gar, zar verbs, we've got our stem changes, and we've got our regular AR and ER and IR endings. Now that we've reviewed how to conjugate verbs in the preterite tense and how to conjugate reflexive verbs, we're going to put those two branches of knowledge together and conjugate reflexive verbs in the preterite tense. Fortunately, the steps are the same. We are going to conjugate our reflexive verb in the preterite by moving the se to the front, changing it to match the person, our subject, that is, and our reflexive pronouns are me, te, se, nos, os, and se. We're going to conjugate our verb in the preterite this time, keeping in mind that we need to remember our stem changers and our irregular verbs. In case you need to remember irregular verbs in the preterite tense, remember your song that goes fui, fui, di, vine, etc. So go ahead and take some time, practice conjugating your reflexive verbs in the preterite tense. You have the whole page of them and a half, and then I will revisit with you guys for Actividad F. Alrighty, so the steps for conjugating a reflexive verb in the preterite tense. Again, we move the se to the front, change the se to match the person, conjugate the verb, and then check for stem changers and irregular verbs. So let's walk through them and see how you did. If at any time I'm going too fast, you can, of course, pause the video, rewind, and check your work as you go. Acostarse is to go to bed, so you have me acosté, te acostaste, se acostó, nos acostamos, os acostasteis, se acostaron. Regular AR verb. Next, afeitarse is another regular AR verb. This EI, though, tends to trip people up right here. But still, afeité, te afeitaste, se afeitó, nos afeitamos, os afeitasteis y se afeitaron. On our next page, we have bañarse, to bathe, is a regular AR verb, but the nye makes a fun ny sound for us. We have me bañé, te bañaste, se bañó, nos bañamos, os bañastes, se bañaron. Cepillarse is a regular AR verb, giving us me cepillé, te cepillaste, se cepilló, nos cepillamos, os cepillasteis, se cepillaron. After that, we have despertarse, which is to wake up. Me desperté, te despertaste, se despertó, nos despertamos, os despertasteis, y se despertaron. Despertar is a stem changer, but because it's an AR verb, it does not change in the present tense. In the preterite tense. In the present tense, it does change, giving us, for example, me despierto. Ducharse is a regular AR verb meaning to shower. And that will give us me duché, te duchaste, se duchó, nos duchamos, os duchasteis, se ducharon. Próximo tenemos lavarse, que significa to wash oneself. Yo me lavé, te lavaste, se lavó, nos lavamos, os lavasteis, se lavaron. Es un verbo regular. Levantarse también es regular con AR. Yo me levanté, tú levantaste, te levantaste, se levantó, nos levantamos, os levantasteis y se levantaron. Maquillarse también es regular con AR. Me maquillé, te maquillaste, se maquilló, nos maquillamos, os maquillasteis, se maquillaron. Próximo, peinarse es otro verbo regular. Me peiné, te peinaste, se peinó, nos peinamos, os peinasteis y se peinaron. Pero ponerse es irregular. Entonces tenemos me puse, te pusiste, se puso, nos pusimos, os pusisteis y se pusieron. También quedarse es regular. Me quedé, te quedaste, se quedó, nos quedamos, os quedasteis y se quedaron. Secarse es regular, pero es un cargarzar. Entonces tenemos me sequé, te secaste, se secó, nos secamos, os secasteis, se secaron. Y finalmente vestirse es regular, pero tiene un cambio de raíz. Entonces tenemos me vestí, te vestiste, se vistió, nos vestimos, se vistieron. Awesome. So those are how we conjugated our reflexive verbs in the past tense. Now we're going to read one story. It is currently in the present tense. As we read, let's underline all of the verbs. Then we're going to place a box around the reflexive verbs. If you would rather highlight the reflexive verbs in red, that's what I will be doing. Circle the reflexive pronoun, and then once we're done with all of that, we'll change the verb from the present tense to the preterite tense. Hola, soy Jorge. Cada día yo tengo la misma rutina. Primero me despierto a las 6:15 de la mañana, pero no me levanto. Me despierto, no me levanto inmediatamente. Navego por internet en mi celular y chequeo Instagram. Me gusta mirar las fotos. Generalmente me ducho por la mañana. Uso el champú en mi pelo y el jabón con mi cuerpo. Tengo un jabón especial para mi cara. Mi hermana se despierta a las 6:30, entonces salgo del baño bajo las escaleras y desayuno. Normalmente como cereal o pan. Siempre bebo jugo de naranja. Mientras mi hermano usa el secador de pelo, me peino y me cepillo los dientes. Es importante que no me cepille los dientes antes de beber jugo de naranja. Después me pongo el uniforme escolar. Mi hermana y yo asistimos a la misma escuela, entonces ella me lleva en su coche. Now we can easily identify the reflexive verbs because they have a reflexive pronoun right before. So reflexive verbs are despierto, levanto, despierto meaning wake up, levanto, I get up, ducho, I shower, despierta, wakes up, peino, I comb, cepillo, I brush, cepille, this is a tricky one. This means it's important that I do not brush my teeth. So cepille in this case means I brush. Pongo, I put, in this case, on. Now, me lleva is not a reflexive verb because it's not saying that I take myself to school. It's saying that she takes me to school. So here, this me is not a reflexive pronoun. It's a direct object. I will never ask you to know that, but that's what that means. Very similarly, where did the gusta go? Here it is. Me gusta. This gusta here is just a backwards verb. So me in this case is not a reflexive pronoun. It's an indirect object pronoun. So we will not include it in our hunt for reflexive pronouns. Hey, the fast way is to find all of our reflexive verbs and find their pronouns. So me despierto, me levanto, me ducho, se despierta, me peino, me cepillo, me cepille, me pongo. That's it. Now we're going to change every single verb from the present tense to the preterite tense. I will go ahead and pause the video and write them all in the preterite tense. You go ahead and translate them to the preterite as well, and then we'll check how we did. Let's see how you did. We'll read this story together. Follow along as I read this in the past tense. Now for my heritage speakers, those of you who speak Spanish at home, a little bit of this story will sound a little bit clunky, and that's okay. Just bear with me. We'll talk about how to make it even better in the coming weeks. Hola, yo fui Jorge. Cada día tuve la misma rutina. Primero me desperté a las 6:15 de la mañana, pero no me levanté inmediatamente. Navegué por internet en mi celular y chequeé Instagram. Me gustó mirar las fotos. Generalmente me duché por la mañana. Usé el shampoo en mi pelo y el jabón con mi cuerpo. Tuve un jabón especial para mi cara. Mi hermana se despertó a las 6:30, entonces salí del baño, bajé las escaleras y desayuné. Normalmente comí cereal o pan. Siempre bebí jugo de naranja. Mientras mi hermana usó el secador de pelo, me peiné y me cepillé los dientes. Fue importante que no me cepillara los dientes antes de beber jugo de naranja. Después me puse el uniforme escolar. Mi hermana y yo asistimos a la misma escuela. Entonces ella me llevó en su coche. 2 little notes here. Cepillara. Es importante que no me cepillara. Same reason that cepillé was special. Cepillara is special. They use what's called the subjunctive mood. That is something we will talk about in Spanish 3. So don't worry about it. And finally, ella me lleva. Again, she takes me in her car. So we need to put llevar in the ella form, which is llevo. To recap, Look at all of our reflexive pronouns. Notice how our reflexive pronouns stay the same even when we write in the preterite tense or in the present tense. There is no change there. The only thing that changes is our endings. I hope you've enjoyed our, what are these called? Our reflexive verbs in the preterite tense notes.